Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Theater on the Web series. I'm your host, Mr. Hillary, the theater guy, and I'm here with another take on the dramatic arts. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I am so passionate about, and it kind of part of the reason why I'm here in our different part of our set here, and it's musicals. I love musicals. I love music, and it was a big reason that got me into the theater was singing. I started singing first, and then when I got to like middle school, high school, it's where I kind of really got introduced to musicals, and that just changed my world. So, musical theater, what is that? So when you're talking about musical theater, you're talking about theater, which is something you come to see, theater, the seeing place. Remember, theater is the seeing place. And it's a place where you're going to see music. But not just any music. It's music that tells a dramatic story. And we know what the dramatic story is, that something has to happen, meaning something's going to change from the beginning of the musical to the end of the musical, if it's a good one. And that's kind of the form. The musical world has gone on a big change since the beginning of its form here in the States. And the earliest form was more operatic, and then it started to change, and then now musicals are getting back to, I think, something that we kind of lost for a few years, which is really like getting back into stories about real people and real experiences in the modern time. Not all musicals take place in the modern time. Some take place anywhere that you could possibly create. But more recently, the more recent musicals have been retellings of movies or stories about people that are currently living in today's time. I feel like a big part of it is trying to get a younger audience to come to the theater. And so people are very hooked on like name recognition. And so when they see a name, they go, oh my God, we got to go see that. And so that's kind of what's been happening. Have you ever heard of The Lion King, Dear Evan Hansen, The Phantom of the Opera? Well, if you have, guess what? That's about musical theater. So this little bit is going to be about the history of musical theater, the singing, the dancing, and of course what? The acting. So we're going to go back in time and take a little look at the history of this amazing art form. Just like in The Sound of Music, let's start from the very beginning. And as we go back, we go all the way back to ancient Greece, where the beginning of the art form was formed. And then it transitioned into the Renaissance, where the style changed a little bit, where it was big, grand productions that we call opera. And from the Renaissance on, it really began to change, where the first musical performance in New York happened. In the 1920s, there was the arrival of vaudeville and the cabaret style of musicals. And these performances were known for show-stopping numbers with very little plot. Big performances. But by the time of 1927, the story began to take a big switch into the musical, where the plot was the biggest thing. Then the arrival of the 1940s, which we now call the musical golden age. Some of the greatest musicals like Oklahoma, The Sound of Music, and Fiddler on the Roof were great musicals during the golden age that we still cherish today. And then the arrival of musicals like A Chorus Line, which is said to kind of end the traditional thought of the Golden Age musical. 1947, the American Theater Wing created the Tony Awards to honor the greatest performances of musical theater. And so then was the end of the Golden Age, all ending at A Chorus Line. But some people think that it was actually from the musical Hair. But the Hair musical was really rejected because of its racy lyrics and songs. But when America kind of slowed up on the musicals, it didn't stop in the United Kingdom, where rock and roll began to be a big deal, and it also hit musicals like The Phantom of the Opera. Thus the arrival of the mega musical. Big songs, big vocals, big choruses. And then more modern musicals begin to pop up, like Thoroughly Modern Millie, one of my personal favorites. And of course, the smash Hamilton, which is still exciting and uniting Broadway today. And then the arrival of what we call the jukebox musical, where these are songs that everybody knows, and they've used these songs to become the greatest musicals, like ABBA and the Four Seasons musical. And also the arrival of pop-sounding musicals with musicals like Rent. So the styles of musicals have definitely changed over time. But the sky is the limit to what can happen next in this ancient art form that now has become very contemporary. Now this is the history of American musical theater, all under 4 minutes. Isn't that good, right? This concludes another episode of Theater on the Web series. For more information, don't forget to shoot me a message at israelhillery@achievementfirst.org. That way you can be added to our Google Classroom, where you'll have access to all the links, all the videos, all the assignments for every episode and the ones to come. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.